And now, let's welcome the world number 8 from Japan, Mima Ito!
So Mima Ito has entered the building, and Jihee before her on the other side. Mima Ito has her mom, Minori, on her bench. Nice to see the family. Her mom was a competitive player for quite some time, and when she saw Mima play at a young age, was like, oh snap, life check. I've got to reprioritize. I'm putting everything, all of my eggs, into the basket of my daughter's future. That's what moms do. Mima Ito has played 7 times against Jihee and has never lost. Not once, 7-0. Current world ranking, 8 in the world for Mima Ito, 20 for Jihee, but she was up at 10 in the world in 2022. Mima-chan was as high as number 2 in the world as we meet our official. Our umpire is Ehsan Ahmed. She'll be taking care of the coin toss and officiating the match.
We have white, purple. Purple, white. Ito serves. Which side? Here.
Check out my equipment. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Both players want to be familiar with what the other player's using as a weapon. Mima Ito has an unusual setup as she has short pips on the backhand side. If you're newer to the sport, pips are those bumps that look like Legos, and they're turned inwards on most people's rubbers, like the forehand of Mima Ito, but the backhand side, they're facing outwards, which means less traction on the ball, less spin, and more flat hit. 13 titles to her name at 23 years old, Mima Ito was the greatest threat to Team China for quite some time, and put up quite a strong fight against Wang Manyu in Singapore just last week. But the eventual champion, Wang Manyu, would find her way through. Mima Ito has so much energy and is quite quick, and Jihee on the other side. Born and raised in China, came to Korea quite some time ago to be a star for Team Korea. She's world ranked 20, she's got 5 titles to her name, and turned pro at 18 years old. Quite different than that of Mima Ito. Mima Ito pre-teen was a pro, playing on the best equipment in the world with $300,000 in prize money here for this event. And also look at the points. The round of 16 where we are 90 points already, all the way up to 1,000 for the champion. Fans, what do you think? 57% supporting Mima Ito, 43%ing supporting, either way, Jihee, one of the leaders of Team Korea. Mima Ito just saying, ball looks slightly damaged. You agree? Let's get a new one, take this one out of circulation. They do choose the balls. Each player gets 15 balls to choose from a box of about 100 balls. Now that red side of the racket for Mima Ito, she almost never turns the racket around. She uses that red side very effectively for flat punches, quick strokes. We call it Mima punch when she just hits it straight from behind with the backhand. And with less topspin on the forehand, it's Mima smash.
Time.
So 2 minutes has come to an end. Players warmed up, will dry off their hands before, because they won't be able to use the towel again until 6 points have been played. Towel breaks come up every 6 points. This will be a best of 5 match.
First game, Ito to serve. Love all.
It's gonna start off with the creative serves of Mima Ito, who's all pinned up and ready to go, almost. A little footwork practice there to start it off. Cleans off the forehand side of the racket, the spinny side. Here we go, it's Mima Ito to start it off.
Set. Love all.
Good deep push. This is part of the discussion, you'd have to imagine. When you come to the table and you've been beaten 7 out of 7 encounters, you have to have some clear plan. Never easy against Mima Ito. But a good long push for the first point.
1-0.
That Mima smash on the step around, loves to turn the backhand corner. Mima Ito floats on her feet. Look how quick those steps are, weight forward, right behind the ball. Mima Ito plays closer to the table than almost anybody. Strawberry attempted, but you can hear how much it means to the last standing Korean woman. Strawberry there is the opposite side spin of the banana flick. Come around the outside of the ball.
2-1.
Parallel forehand, good top spin on it. The reaction from Ito, quite clear. Take a look at this quick shot right on the purple of the line for the champions table. Now just to give you a little bit more context, not only is Mima Ito 7-0, she's only dropped a total of 3 games in her entire 7 matches. That means less than half a game on average per match for Jihee.
1-4.
Korean fans applauding a let serve. Quite close to the net. Maybe they thought it was Jihee's point. Down the line, Mima Ito steps around, and at the first towel break, just 2 points between them. Now, as it goes, the underdog needing that early start, because if the opponent is under pressure, it's a little bit easier for them to tense up, tougher for them to stay focused, feel confident, relaxed. Chinese setup on the racket of the player who grew up training in China and has developed a lot in Korea. Oh, flat hit from behind the table, never easy to rally with. From that far back, it's not easy to make either. Ito plays a high-risk game. Slap shot. Not a lot of time to respond. Clever idea, but Jihee survives. Again, the timing of Mima Ito takes everything so early. Good top spin low. Doo-Hoi Kim has had her fair share of wins against world top players, and when nobody could beat Mima Ito, Doo-Hoi Kim showed us the way. A lot of work for a point, but Jihee fired up. Is gonna be this way, volume 10, foot all the way down, pedal to the metal from start to finish in this match, because she knows that's what it would take. And a deep push. Again, these flatter shots of Mima Ito, if she plays with more security and spin, Jihee has an easier time to counter when the wide forehand is open. This is a good height for Mima-chan. She'll take that shot time and time again. Jihee spins it back, forcing Mima Ito to recoil after the big opening attack. Coverage from the middle, Jihee brings the elbow into the body. In the women's game, it is so fast. The women stay close to the table, pinning that elbow where they can. Beautiful setup. Mima-chan brings her opponent, Jihee, to the shallow forehand side and then sends her right back behind the body's momentum. Look at this as she moves to the backhand corner. Tough to stop and go back the other way. Second towel break, 4 points between them in favor of the underdog, the world ranked number 20, Jihee. Nice length, the touch right near the baseline of the table. Not a lot of room for a racket. Take a look how close that one is. Nearly got a second bounce on the baseline, on the edge of the table there. Mima changing up her position now. Don't see people serving from here so often. Beautiful forehand flick.
6.
Difficult shot to do. Her short game is very impressive. One of the toughest shots in the game, and a timeout here from
Timeout.
Jihee. The pressure. Game number 1 is that important that she pulls her one lifeline right now.
근데 어디를 넣어도 제일 잘 치는 거 준비를 해야 될 것 같아요. 그게 써도 괜찮은 것 같기도 해요.
너가 자신 있는 걸로 믿고.
Coach Oh Kwang-hun trying to find some answers to make Mima Ito uncomfortable. The massive fans here, their rackets
6.
ready. Watching closely, hoping that Jihee can turn things around after the momentum has shifted, favoring Mima Ito. Not drastically, but just enough to make her dangerous. As deep as a serve can be.
9,
Surprise,
6.
surprise to the deep backhand. Baseline fast and surprising. That, my friends, is how a long serve is
Play
done.
faster, please. 9, 6.
That ball, the
7,
banana split.
9.
It's got the side spin of the banana, the chiquita, as they say in Japan. But she comes under the ball. It's a very unusual receive. Not so many do the banana split. But it earns Mima-chan the point outright. 7 serving 9. Loaded
8,
with underspin
9.
tomahawk a la Dima with a lot more after motion. Look at that ball, so much racket speed on it. And an emptier one this
9,
time around. The
4.
motion looks the same, but with less rotation, the ball's popped up enough. Mima Ito gets the third ball she wants, about twice net height. Look at the side spin on that as it diverts and jumps. Minori Ito from the bench. Anyone who's been on the bench of Mima Ito over the years, you've seen with a very calm vibe. It's not a coincidence. It's the way she prefers it. 9 points each. A lot of work for a point, and Jihee converts it to earn game point. To see Mima Ito cover that much ground in 1 point is incredibly uncommon. Not because she's not capable, but her game is all about the baseline, staying as close as possible. One small step for Mima Ito. And one giant leap for Jihee as she takes game number 1, 11-9. We've got ourselves a match. A fight from the start, and it will continue in this best of 5. There's a greater chance for an upset than in a best of 7. She came out here guns blazing, laser-like focus, a clear plan, and it has paid off. The timeout has been cashed in. Jihee leads 1-0 over Mima
길게
Ito.
너무 그렇죠. 근데 이게 지금이야 너무 뜨니까 때려버리고 천천히 걸어요. 그러니까 차라리 빼고 천천히 이게 때려버려도 어쩔 수 없고
없어.
이게 때리면 아예
맞아. 잡히면 여기고 안 잡히면 그냥
천천히 이게 커트를 천천히 주고 긴 거 땡겨야 될 것 같아요.
Little reminder, we've got some amazing matches coming up tomorrow. Ugo Calderano and Felix Lebrun and Hina Hayata and Sun-Ying Sha. Matches you will want to see live in person. Get your tickets online at worldtabletennis.com/Incheon. Believe me, seeing table tennis live is game-changing, life-changing, and you'll meet a lot of people that you've got a lot in common with. Some really smart, cool, good-looking people just like yourself. Not only that, they're smart enough to know how much fun it is to see table tennis live. Don't miss your opportunity. If you can get here, you should be here. So back for the action. A woman who won by 2 points, the narrowest margin in game one. Jihee to start with the serves. Nice change of pace. Mima-chan doing well there with the pips. She can do so many things with that red side of the racket. Watch this. That was a reactionary shot. She was looking to use the black side, but realized backhand would be a little better. Slowed it down, brushed the ball. Trying to control the inside of the table. Fired up. Jihee loves her table tennis, so much in fact that she named her dog Tagu, which is table tennis in Korean. Good look at the short side of the table, Jihee, but it's called the short side for a reason. Less runway here, smaller margin for error. She's gonna have to take her chances, stay unpredictable. Oh, that backhand. Now Mima Ito can spin the ball with the backhand, as she demonstrated just there. It's simply gonna be less rotation than had she made the same motion with inverted rubber on her backhand. That makes it tough to rally with. Mima smash for the finish. She sets it up, pinning Jihee in the backhand corner and catching her right there on the elbow. Not easy to get the upper body out of the way to create that racket speed. Pinpointing the elbow once again and creating the opening. As soon as you get a player leaning, now you've got a way to go. Look at that, leans to the right there, which leaves a little bit more opening to the wide forehand. And Ito timing all over it mid-air. Comes sailing through the court. Smashed. That forehand flick inside the table. This is something between not a full stroke. It's an awkward ball to play. Not so many can do that with the consistency that Mima-chan can. 6-1. Oh, edge of the table, but the Mima smash continuing the variety that Mima-chan has brought in game number 2. From the short game to the precision in these flatter shots. You can see there it only has to touch the playing surface even just slightly. 12 of the last 16 points. And a much needed one here for Jihee, who's leading in games. If she could go up 2-0, it'd still be tough to say what the percentages are. Hers would definitely be higher. There's a much lower toss on that serve. 16 centimeters out of the palm of the hand is the requirement. Jihee's getting loose right now, you can see it. She's freeing up, and the fans here with guarded optimism yet support at the same time. The pressure to the baseline, the racket speed, the rotation. Ooh. Mima-chan with an outright service point. Some vocalization like you don't normally hear. Very well disguised, this serve. Mama happy, mama proud. That's exactly what she sounds like, by the way, which is crazy. You wouldn't expect it. 4 serving 8 here out of the second towel break, Jihee. Looking for that baseline, but it's a fine line between missing the table and catching the baseline. Taking her risks, Jihee will have to. Ooh.
10-4.
The crowd goes, ah. Understandable. Bit of fortune here for the away player. Mima Ito now with 6 game points to level the playing field with an exclamation point at the end. And the statement has been made. Message sent loud and clear. This is not going to be easy. 11-4. Mima-chan responds. And remember, Jihee does not have her timeout left. So hydration, a little bit of matcha, or green tea perhaps. Something green, hydration and conversation time.
박진감 넘치는 경기가 계속되고 있는데요. 양 선수에게 힘이 되도록 여러분 뜨거운 박수 부탁드립니다.
Those are the Mima fans. Right here, we've got a good variety of fans, it seems. A lot of Chinese fans come in to support their player. Or players. They got a lot, no doubt about it. The Korean fans as well, coming in from the city to be here.
Third game, Ito to serve. Love all.
Yogi, here we are. Game number 3. We'll see who takes the lead. It's Mima Ito who's got the serve. Got a Yu Sung Min view for a moment. Heavy spin once again. Mima Ito quickly saying, stay forward, move in, keep your racket closed. Caught just a step behind the table because of the perfect placement there by Jihee. Well placed into the middle. That elbow is the target. If you can't hit it out of reach, hit something that will force your opponent to lean, get off balance. Tough to get racket speed from that pocket. The wide wings, those are the danger zones. Bottle challenge serve, well handled. If you're newer to table tennis, the bottle challenge serve, lefties and righties use against each other. It's where they curve the ball so that it goes off the table or right near the line on the sideline and comes back in. Quick reaction, Yole, more vocal than usual today. Mima-chan up 3-1. Indeed, approval from mom. The Ito family is a wonderful family with a really quirky, outstanding sense of humor. I bring that up because Minori doesn't speak a ton of English, but she's not afraid to try, and it's awesome. Mima a little bit more. A lot of focus on the game right now, as you can imagine. After all, for context, you're looking right here in red. Mima Ito was the greatest threat to Team China for years. And in Tokyo, 2021, when the Tokyo 2020 Olympics happened, Mima Ito was the great hope for Team Japan. Good game 1 against Sun Ying-sha, good start, but after that, Sha closed the door.
3-4.
And Paris could be the last time. I mean, for Mima Ito, she won't be there. She's gonna do everything she can to show why she's capable. To go down in history as one of the greatest threats to China. Two tomahawk chops from that forehand. Mima Ito, we don't see this so often after the serve. Look at that, side spin. And it sets up the kill. Bernie Such, one other that you'll see play a tomahawk chop from time to time. Net recovery, and Jihee moves back in. Fist high in the air. The team support. A reminder for Jihee to come back to the table. Now, if it hits the clamp like this, The ball can come down on the opponent's side. The net clamp is considered part of the net assembly. Ooh.
6.
This had me curious. I saw that right hand of Jihee up in the air. The same way you might see it if someone thought there was a let. But simply self-defense, backing up after being fooled on the serve. Change to the backhand side. Something different here.
Net.
The toss.
Don't be sure the ball is not enough.
Remember thinking that the first time around. We had a little
4,
conversation
6.
about it. Tongue out moment here. Backhand serves tend to have a lower toss in general. Unless, of course, you're Sehyo-won or a chopper who likes to throw it high.
Net. 4, 6.
Banana split practice out here for Mima-chan. Bottle challenge and the heavy spin. That ball catapulted off the racket. Just goes to show you how particular the timing is for any sort of chop block, even a tomahawk one. With that closed racket, the ball catches the edge.
7.
Second towel break and a 2-point
5.
lead. Jihee knows that her chances would be astronomically higher if she can take this 2-1 lead. Procrastination is common, but in an adversarial sport that's all about speed and efficiency, it's not going to be so, well, acceptable.
8, 5.
Even in the decision-making process, these players have seen almost everything you can imagine, thousands of times. And that's why Mima Ito has created a game that is very difficult to replicate. Nobody else in the world plays quite like her at this level.
Net. 8, 5.
Little reminder that the floor protects the knees of the players. The ball doesn't bounce up off the floor because they're not playing on a hard surface relative to what we mostly play on.
5, 9.
Again, this heavy topspin motion with the short pips on the backhand
5,
looks like a
9.
lot more spin than there is. And the placement right into that
5,
middle.
9.
Had a chance to play with Minori a little bit in London, actually, on an Olympic table, which is pretty cool, as we see the Olympic champion in the background. The last non-Chinese singles Olympic champion, but you're looking at one of the last 2 non-Chinese Olympic champions. Mima Ito took a gold medal over Team China alongside Junmi Zutani.
6, 9.
One step in the right direction. Jihee took game number 1. We know she's capable. How to stay loose. The in and out game, moving in to capture early. Not easy to put pressure on Mima-chan.
10, 6.
For me, I think Mima was expecting this. She turned so quickly to get around that deep bottle challenge serve. And now she's got 4 game points and the serve. Around the net, Mima Ito. When have you seen this? Completely skirts that one around the net post, and look at this, celebration time like a cartoon character that would bring joy to every kid watching around the world. I watch cartoons, no problem with it. Look at that beauty. 100% legal, 200% beautiful. Oh man, Mima Ito as low as can be. If you do nothing else today but watch replays of that shot, you've had yourself a wonderful day. It'll probably extend your life. Endorphins, anyone? Plenty more on the way. 11-4, 11-6, and what a finish from Mima-chan. You see players hit around the net shots online on social media and YouTube. Pros under pressure.
Jeon to serve. Love all.
This is real time, and it's a big deal. And yet still hits a ball maybe a centimeter above the surface of the table around the net. Jihee now down 1-2, the last standing Korean woman.
Love one.
Shallow spin shot brings Jihee to her knees. That smile is for no one but Mima Ito. She does that to make sure she's playing her best, that she stays positive, stays loose, doesn't tense up. Japanese women have a lot of practice in this. Since 2014, you could see pamphlets about the positive head shakes, the positivity for the Japanese women's team specifically. Even if they lose a point, they come back to the table nodding their head yes at the start of the next. Parallel backhand return Jihee. It's now or never. She must win this game and the next. Jihee to continue. The winner here will play the winner of Jung Yi-jing and Wang Man-yu. Jihee taking her time, watching the rotation on the ball. To me, that sends a message to the server, although it could be interpreted many different ways. Ooh, beautiful down the line forehand, out of reach, Jihee. Maybe caught a bit of the edge, let's see here. Yep, sure did. Edge of the table, acknowledging her fortune, but playing the lines. She's gonna have to play this high-risk game. We knew it from the start, considering their head-to-head.
3-2.
Idea was right. Coach O reminding her to stay loose, stay fluid. Not an easy ball to play. The second one actually appeared to be the easier of the two, but constantly changing her patterns, Mima Ito keeps it unpredictable. 1 point lead still for Jihee. And a nice open racket. Jihee keeps the banana split out of the net. Keep your eyes on this. Pushes, turns the racket back a little bit, reclining like a beachside chair. Poolside, either way, water nearby. I think you get the point. The racket was open. 2 serving 4. Mima-chan with the deadly serves. Oh, devastating. This ball, a mind of its own as it comes off the net. They both had theirs. Complete opposite side, right to the line. What can you do against this? The answer is, have the same facial expression that Jihee had. Come on, man. Why you do that to me? And the fight is real. You can hear it. Coach O on the bench and a clenched fist right here from Jihee. She's gonna stay in at the table. You can see the leg muscles working there from the quads through the calves. The weight forward here, Jihee. Back up by 2.
6-3.
Now, just for record, these two have never played a decider against each other. No match has been even close. Curious who does better in the decider? Me too. Fast long serve for the point. It's a 4-point lead now. 4 points between the players and 4 points between the leading player this game and the finish line. Pressure continues to build here. Mima Ito with 2 serves to come. Little help off the top of the net again. Jihee is just gonna have to shrug that off part of the game. It tends to even out, although with Fan Jundong earlier today, it definitely didn't. Wry smile there, says, well, it's the way it goes. So quick, Mima Ito leaves no time to recover. Think about how many times Jihee had to play shots in such a short time span. 1. That's all it was there. The one before happened so quickly, and a timeout now.
Timeout.
Interesting. This is a sign that the receive game has been trouble. Mima Ito just won 2 points in a row and called the timeout. It's incredibly rare to see. So cooling off the face there, the world number 805 points. Look at the distance between her and Shin Yubin. More than 500, it's 565 points between them. It's pretty significant. In front of Bernie Such, not too much. Bernie Such moved on earlier over Adriana Diaz. Bernie could end up moving up past Mima Ito, but Mima Ito in good shape right now. If it comes to a decider, that would be very interesting to see. And you know the fighting spirit of the Koreans, especially with the home crowd behind them, is almost unmatchable.
Seven, 5.
Again, an incredibly unusual timeout for a player to call after winning 2 points in a row in the middle of a comeback. Oh, the banana split comes out, and it is a dart. Man, was this one loaded with whipped cream. Look at that, the wrist. Who else does that? Hina Hayata occasionally. But with the consistency and frequency, Mima Ito, 3 in a row now.
Left. 7, 6.
Thinking cricket, that would have been a nice shot. From Jihee straight back to the ball kid off the edge of the racket.
7.
Heavy push, and look who's back. It's not over yet, but Mima Ito with a 4-point streak from down 3-7. You might have been scratching your head. She went to ice her face, Mima Ito, to stay cool. Good thing to do. You'll see a lot of Japanese players with those ice packs to put on their head during their timeouts.
7, 8.
That's a much needed point. Jihee fighting for survival. Was up 7-3. It looked like for sure we'd be going to a decider. But in these first 2-11 win by 2 games, things change quite quickly. Parallel backhand, and Mima Ito ties it up once again. Mima Ito with a 58% win rate in the decider. I'll get you Jihee's in a bit. Suspense. Oh, beautiful backhand. Puts everything into it, uses the length of the table and tests wingspan. Wingspan is not to the advantage of Mima Ito. She floats like a butterfly on those feet. But still, Jihee 1 point in front. And right on the line, a risky serve. Not afraid of the edge, not afraid of heights nor cliffs in this moment. Jihee sets up 2 game points. As deep and wide as can be.
8, 10.
Serves against game points. And she takes it. Jihee, for the first time in her career, has sent this opponent into a decider. So you know what to do. Grab those snacks and healthy beverages. You need to be watching if they're not already. The decider, game number 5, with Korea's last standing woman, Jihee, and Mima Ito of Japan. Game 5 coming right up.
전화 줘야 돼.
Hello, Korean celebrities. Good to see you here, showing up. We got VIPs and celebrities in the crowd, K-pop stars. Esna is here. You might know her music.
15, Ito to serve. Love goal.
Got Olympic gold medalists in the crowd. We've got DJs here. Olympic gold medalists right behind Jihee. Minori Ito, mother of Mima Ito, coach for this match as well. This is the decider. Jihee takes the first point. Now I told you that Mima Ito has a 58% win rate when it comes down to the decider. Oh, Mima Ito really tripping on a ball back there. Umpire saying stop. Jihee with a 62% win rate in the decider. That's quite high. Quick flat backhand. A lot of forward motion, not a lot of rotation on it. Right to the baseline, so quick. Snapping with that wrist. Mima staying loose.
One, two.
Heavy spin comes in from over the table. The Japanese delegation is here. While they'll be cheering on Mima Ito. Jihee, interesting. To win a point and have that facial expression, quite unusual.
One, two.
Just goes to show you how high the standards are. Players know win or lose when they're playing their best. Oh, deep and wide. Jihee ties it up. Think about how much space on the table was used. Covers the middle back. Mima has to get the racket straight up. And Jihee catches it at its peak, plays it deep to the corner. This would be massive.
Let, 2, all.
Mima smash is tough to deal with. Jihee naturally backing off the table. In the women's game, you don't see the players backing up quite as much. Simply too much ground to cover for slightly smaller steps. Speed is the game. Mima Ito, as fast as they come. Ooh, the counter low clips the net. This low trajectory, high risk shot. Such a short stroke. Clinches the fist, then offers her apology. In these tense matches, we've been seeing that from men and women. And everything is big right now. Remember, in an Olympic year, especially for Jihee, I wonder for Mima Ito, as a player who, to my understanding, will not be at the Olympics, still has a lot to prove. Tied right back up. They will switch sides after one more point. The question is, who's going to have the lead? Little double pump there as Jihee looks to see if she can attack. Service game on point right now. Jihee. That serve was perfection, and the follow-up as well. Takes two, corner to corner. It is not over yet. Keeping your composure. It's going to be big. Interesting. Thought it said 4-4 on the screen before the point started. Huh. And now they switch sides. Jihee leading 5-4. This gets interesting. To have to push from the baseline is not easy. Jihee, we saw the conversation with Coach O about how to cradle the ball to try and keep Mima off the attack if you have to push. And a little fortune coming back. The net earlier in the rally Jihee capitalizing, but again, it's that type of match. They all will be. Champions events are big deals. Champions Incheon, kind of a big deal. One more point to cover the middle, and Jihee has a 3-point lead. She was up 7-3 just before. And Mima Ito came all the way back. As much topspin as you can put on a shot, Jihee right now is on fire, and there is no sign of this wildfire being put out. Spreading through the brush right now as she brushes that ball to the baseline. It's a fire inside that's manifesting on the table. 6 of the last 8 points for Jihee.
8.
Tries to cover the middle, but Mima Chan 1 step in the right direction. Deep to the backhand, says Coach O. Pin her in the backhand. Move her over. Get her with the racket head straight up. Get her to try and step around, then go the other way. There it is, 2 to the backhand. Jihee, 2 points away from the unthinkable. Remember, she averaged less than half a game in 7 encounters against Mima Ito. There's a first for everything, but not everything happens.
Left.
So maybe I should say there's a first for everything that happens. Now, Jihee has never been past the round of 16 at a Champions event. This is the round of 16. She's 2 points away from her personal best at a Champions event. This is looking at 5 different Champions events. Change of pace, and it is 4 match points. Jihee came out fighting from the very first point. And what seemed unthinkable is starting to look quite possible right now, still focused. Jihee takes it! A personal best, and she knocks out the world number 8, world rank number 20. Korea's last standing woman keeps hopes alive, and she has done it in a deciding game. The first time ever she has beaten Mima Ito after 7 straight losses throughout her career. This is big, and you could imagine tears of joy right now. 11-8, 11-6 in the last 2 from down 1-2. Jihee at 30.